My name is Cody Redmond, and I'm from McKees Rocks, Pennsylvania, which is right outside of downtown. I grew up with two sisters, mom and a dad. I would say that I am a dedicated personality, if that would count. Anything I do, I put myself 100% in it. If it's the gym, cheerleading, rugby, any of that, I'm all in it. Even the fraternity life, I'm 100% in any activity that I do. Whenever I went to CCAC, they didn't have a cheer team. I tried to start one, but we didn't have enough of the funds to be able to start that. So then I transferred over to RMU, and then whenever I transferred here, we had the cheer team, but I was more interested in rugby. So I started out playing a year there. But then by the end of my freshman year up at Robert Morris, I felt like I needed to do more. So I went up to my friend Brittany Crow, and we're old family friends. So I told her, I said, hey, I want to cheerlead. And she told me, she was like, are you serious? We'll come to tryouts. And ever since then, I had them 2 more years. My parents didn't want me to play rugby. My freshman year, I wanted to play. But whenever I went outside and I played across the street, I ended up busting my head open, my first rugby game ever playing. And they told me never again. So 2 years later, they came back to our high school to recruit. So I picked it up, and I love the sport. It's just aggressive, it's fun, you get to, really show what you're all about in rugby. It's all about how long you can last, how hard you can hit, what type of technique you have and what skill you can use against people. So I have a pretty big passion for rugby, and, even though the games conflict, I still find time to be able to, make it and be, a rugby player. See, with cheerleading on my range of activities, I feel like cheerleading's the head runner right now, because I don't know, I'm excited to get to practice. It's fun to, hang out with the team. It's fun to co-ed. And the thing with cheerleading, it's kind of like being in the gym. It's, whenever you're trying to up your bench and up your squat, you're trying to get to the next stunt. Because there's one-hand stunts to go do with the guys, there's flipping stunts. So, every time I'm in there, I'm trying to better myself and get further along with the, the stunts to be able to impress the crowds or whoever we're in front of. Let's just say I'm not 40, and I feel that way. The type of toll that rugby and cheerleading has taken on me is, I feel a lot more aged than I am. I mean, I feel a lot stronger in there, but you got those joint pains that every other day when you're getting up a certain way, you can feel and say, yeah, that's where that person hit me. Or yeah, like cheerleading, for example, my wrists will never be the same, because anytime you would catch wrong or anytime they would drop onto you, all that force is going on your hands. So you can tell from each one, you have different areas, like my ankles from rugby and my wrists from cheerleading. It's it's toll taking, but it's definitely worth it. With the gym and staying in shape, that comes, that's your base for everything. In rugby, if you want to make a hit, you have to be strong. If you want to last long in a game, you have to have the cardio. In cheerleading, if you're going to pick a girl up over your head, you have to have that strength. So me and Vince, my friend, we both are in the gym at least 9 times a week. It's basically our religion. We are 100% for the gym and getting better and bettering ourselves. There's no question about skipping the gym. Like, you know how the other people are like, oh, I don't know if I want to go today. With us, it's just, we're going. We plan our days around the gym. We say, all right, so we have to lift today, but we have this stuff to do. Okay, well, let's wake up at 6 and do the gym, and then we can go on with our day. Or let's push this away, and we're going to lift first. And that's, normally how we are with the gym. It's stressful. It is, but whenever you're in the gym, everything goes away. It's your one happy place, because it's all about you. You know what I mean? Instead of pleasing your teammates, that's the one place where it's you versus you. You're going in, you're putting up the weight, you're trying to better yourself. Your bench was down 1 week, well, guess what? This time you want to double it. So the gym's definitely, it's hard to put in, but it's one of those places where you clear your head. On the manliness and being a rugby player and that conflicting with the bad views on cheerleading, our coach, our rugby coach, is the biggest person on that. So no matter whatever games we go to, whenever we show up, he always brings up the cheerleading. He's like, oh, I got my 2 cheerleaders coming in today, huh? So it's hard, because cheerleading has such a negative view on it with the guys, and I understand why, because we're cheering on other guys and we're doing very preppy activities. But once I step onto the rugby field, that's whenever everything changes, because whenever somebody needs to make that hit, I make the hits. You know what I mean? Whenever somebody tries to tackle me, it takes a while. It takes actually a few people to take me down. So once there is that stereotype, I break that stereotype as soon as I get onto the field. Well, that's my answer to cheerleading isn't a real sport, because in all technicalities, it might not be a sport. On the competition levels and everything, if you want to go by the book, you can say cheerleading isn't a sport. But the amount of effort that the girls and the guys put in, and the amount of skill it takes to do that, I want to see any football player, any soccer player, any hockey player, any one of those guys do what we do. That's the same thing with us. We don't expect to walk onto the field and be the starting quarterback. We stick to our sport, and that's the way that we play it. And if it takes a certain skill set to do something, then why isn't it a sport? I even feel with it being a sport and the skills that it takes to be a cheerleader, I feel like it's starting to even out, that the other sports are starting to give a little bit more of a respect towards the cheerleading. You even get some of the compliments in the gym or whenever they see you. I know they're like, "Oh, how do you throw them girls over your head like that?" And we get remarks like that from some of the other athletes. The way that I look at that is athletes respect athletes. And I don't think there's many of the sports teams that would down the cheerleaders, but whenever you go to the people that aren't involved in the activities, those are the ones that we normally get the problems with, because if there's any discussion or anything, that's the first thing that's thrown out. Is from somebody that's not involved with activities, like, "Well, you're a cheerleader." Anybody that doesn't know what it is like to go through practices, what it's like to be dedicated to lift, or do what you need to do to get your job done, those are the ones that ridicule the sport. As if I'm the lead or not of the male cheerleading, I would look at it more of my personality that would make me the lead, not the fact that I actually have the role. With my passion and the way that I am, people tend to listen. So the other guys, especially since I, brought them into it, I feel like they just give that to me, since they know how hard, I try and everything for the sport. So I wouldn't say I'm the leader, but I would say that I have that mutual respect with the other guys where, they know that my head's in the right place and, they can follow what I'm doing. So with having a co-ed squad, a co-ed cheerleading squad, it adds a lot of strength and adds it adds more depth to the chart. So not saying anything about the girls, but the guys, they can do stuff on their own. They can throw a little bit higher. So if you're going to a show, would you like to see one type of music, or would you like to see two different types? So it adds on that extra, little jazz to the sport. So instead of seeing all 4 people stunts, now you're seeing the guy throw a girl up by himself, and you're like, "Oh, that's a little interesting." Having your stunt partner it's a little bond. You can tell, especially because I've stunted with all the girls, and when you become active with the girl, it's a whole new line of trust. So that's the person that's going to be throwing you up. That's the person you're getting better with. So you can definitely tell, not any like real type of relationship, but there's a relationship growing with your partner that, you guys get a lot tighter, you guys get a lot closer. Whenever you see them in public, it's like, that's my person that I'm working with, and it's a different type of relationship definitely than with the whole team. You need that relationship with your flyer. It's just there that no matter what, you're always going to catch her, and no matter what, she's always going to try her hardest to hold that stunt. And you guys have that mutual respect for each other, and it just creates a bond. Encouraging the guys to join. If you have the right mind state, I would definitely say we're encouraging guys to join, but we're looking for the top of the top. You know what I mean? Right now, the way the team is, we're going serious. We're ready to go compete. So if we're picking up any guys, they're going to be able to, they're going to have to be strong. They're going to have to be able to jump in and learn, because I'm hoping at least this year and next year we're going to be able to go compete. And to be able to compete, we can't have, people that aren't going to take it serious. But it's a sport that, you can definitely get into and definitely learn. And if you like to lift and if you like to throw people up, then why not try it, right? And I mean, come on, let's be honest here. We have 30 beautiful girls that you're working with, so you can't go wrong there, right? It's one of those things where it's a good feeling. It's a good place to be.